Hey, hey, I fixed it. All right, cool. So, trying out a new multi-streaming service right now. So, hi, trying this out. So, I'm brand new to streaming on LinkedIn, and I wanted to do a quick stream and see about this new tool I'm using. So that's what we're doing. Um, we are trying out this new streaming tool, seeing how it works, seeing if I could stream to all my channels at once. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about bravery today, being brave and doing brave things. Is that Olivia on Instagram? Can't tell. Picture's too tiny. But hi. So I want to talk about being brave because I did something brave today. Well, I did something scary today, and I had to be brave for me. My daughter and I have been talking about for a while that we thought we wanted to buy a paddleboard. We live really close to a lake. We live about a mile away from a lake walking. And we thought that we would like to invest in a paddleboard. This looks like fun, right? We have friends who paddleboard. It seemed like a cool thing to do. So we wanted to give it a try. But I said, before we spend $300 or $400, whatever it is on a paddleboard, we should probably try it out first, right? Like see if we actually like it. So our lake rents paddleboards. So today we finally found time. We got up and went over there this morning. We rented 2 paddle boards and we went out for 2 hours. And let me just tell you, I've kayaked before, and that's fine. Paddleboarding is a whole other beast because it requires A, different muscles that I'm used to using, and B, different balance that I'm used to using. So Devin, who's 10, like gets up on the paddleboard almost immediately. And she's fine, right? Like she doesn't have any problem getting up there, standing on the paddleboard, just paddling away, right? Me, I start on my butt, right? Because that's where I'm most comfortable. Let's be real. And so about how, we're paddling, we get a little ways, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get on my knees. So I get up on my knees, and that's okay. Like I'm doing all right. Paddling is, oh, okay, this is more efficient. I'm more efficient paddling on my knees, right? Um, but there are muscles in my thighs that I have apparently not used in a long time because I started getting kind of wobbly, and I'm like wobbly on the paddleboard. So I went from also like you're right on your kneecaps, and when you're 40, your kneecaps are like, ow, that's kind of a lot, thanks. And so then the next bit is, so like you're supposed to like be able to put your feet up under you, and I asked Devin how she was doing it, right? And she's like, oh, you just put your feet up under you and you put your hands down. It's kind of like down dog, right? So you get into down dog and then you slowly roll out just like in yoga. And I'm like, cool, I can do this. No. So I'm like on my knees, I get all wobbly, I start going like this, and I gave up. I was like, I can't do it because I was afraid that if I did whatever was necessary to haul my leg around under me, I would fall over, right? And so we're paddling through the lake. I'm like, it's no problem. I'll just stay on my butt. That's where I'm most comfortable. No problem at all. But I got really emotional about it because I was like, I want to be able to do this. I feel dumb that I can't stand up. I want to try it. I feel silly that I'm afraid, right? Because what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to fall in the water. They make you wear life vests. I'm not going to die, but I was going to fall in the water if I wobbled too much and got out, right? Okay, so we keep paddling. It's a beautiful lake. It's a rookery, which means there's these birds. There's this little island that we call Bird Island. I don't know if it has a real name, but it's all the trees on the island are full of nests. It's all cormorants and blue herons, and there's a bald eagle sanctuary at the back. We didn't see any eagles today. So we're going around Bird Island, which is a little stinky, by the way. A lot of birds in one place. And then we go into this little cove, and it was very shallow. It probably would have not even been up to my knees if I'd stood up off the board, right? So okay, I'm going to try this again. So I get my knees under me, I get my feet under me, and I stood up and I did it. I got up on the board. I didn't fall over. But what was hilarious is that because I've been doing it mostly on my knees, and that again requires muscles in my thighs that I was not used to using, my legs shook like like jelly after I was just standing up for just a few minutes because um you kind of have to bend your knees and you're balancing on the board, and man, I was just like shaking. But then at that point, I was afraid to get back down because I was shaking so bad. I was afraid that I was going to fall off when I tried to get back down onto my knees. Anyway, long story short, I survived. I did not fall in. I got back on my knees. We paddleboarded for about 90 minutes all told. Nobody got sunburned. Life was good. But I have realized that if we want to buy a paddleboard, I'm going to need a lot more practice. But it seemed like a really great metaphor to me for being brave in your life and trying things. And sometimes the amount of fear we're feeling is disproportionate to the actual task at hand, right? Like the amount of fear I was feeling about standing up on that stupid paddleboard was highly disproportionate to the consequence, right? Like I said, if I fell in the water, I had a life vest on, it's hot, I wasn't gonna freeze, I wasn't gonna die. There was literally nobody else there that I know that was gonna like laugh at me. Nothing, right? And so it got me wondering, like, what else am I afraid of in my life that I'm giving too much power to, you know? Um, oh my goodness. Jeffco Public Schools is calling me while I'm doing a live. Okay. I think I got that figured out. Anyway, that's my story. We're going to see if this works with the live restream. But I'm just wondering, for you, if you watch this, if you got through 7 minutes of me wobbling on the paddleboard, what does this resonate with you? Like, what do you think? Do you sometimes feel like you have fear that's disproportionate to the actual event, like what's happening or the thing or the consequences of what might happen? Um, what would happen if you did the thing you were afraid of? My mentor, Meryl, often talks about what would happen if you had 10x the courage. Sometimes I think I don't even need 10x the courage. I need like 1x the courage because literally, if I'm just afraid of falling off the paddleboard, like what's the worst that could happen? I'm going to get wet, right? And so I think I need to adopt that attitude more often in my life. What's the worst that can happen? If I'm just going to get wet, if I fall off and look a little silly, maybe I should try it anyway. So literally, that's why I'm doing this today with no makeup on, my hair looking wonky. We're doing brave things today. And if this resonated with you, or if you enjoyed my story about a paddleboard, leave me a little thumbs up or say hey, and I will talk to you guys next week. All right, bye.